If you are starting or growing your business, then you know that you need a great looking website. In the next few videos, I'm going to be taking you through step by step on how to create a website for your business. My goal is to enable you to do this on your own so that you don't need to hire a web programmer and you don't need to become a web programmer yourself. The videos will be in 10-minute increments so that you can watch them between nap times and build your website at the same time. This is part 1 in the series, and we're going to start with installing plugins and the theme. Hey moms, welcome to another episode of the Life Unboxed blog show, where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, from raising your kids to running a business, and the most important, to keeping your sanity. I'm Jodie the mom from lifeunboxed.blog, and I'm so glad you're joining today. If you are enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to drop a comment below. I would love to hear your questions that you just can't seem to get answered. So I'm excited to get into teaching you how to build a website on your own so that you can do it between nap times, like I've said in the intro, and make it a website that you can be proud of. If you haven't watched my previous videos yet, what to do before you start building a website to make it easier, and how to the many ways to create a business logo, I would highly recommend that you do that if you are just starting out. I will leave links for both of those videos in the description below. If you followed the 7 steps in what to do before you start building a website to make it easier, then you've already picked your colors, you've chosen your domain, you've decided on your hosting, you've created a logo, you've picked your fonts, you created an outline, and you've sketched out your page layout. So you're ready to get started. So this is what I've done so far on our test website. I've created the domain on my hosting platform. I've installed WordPress. I made sure my SSL certificate was activated. Usually your hosting will, if they provide the SSL certificate, this will be automatic, but I always like to double check. And I've updated my password from the host generated password. Other than that, I haven't added anything else to the website. So we are going to do this together. If you are planning on using Bluehost as your hosting and you need to set up a domain email, I've created a video to show you how to do that, and I will leave the link below, and that will take you step by step on how to set up your email without paying extra for it. So the first thing that we're going to do is to configure our WordPress site. Usually I leave the default as is, but there are a few things that I do want to check and change. So let's go down to settings. Okay, so we're in general settings right now. And so we have the site title. So I set this up on the hosting side when I created the domain, but if you want to change your site title at a later date, you don't like what you put, or you want to be more specific, this is where you would change it. Tagline, so it's just a short description about the website. My WordPress address, my site address, those are all correct. Now this is a subdomain of a domain that I use to build websites on. So that's why it has the jrptest.website. Yours won't have all this. Administration email. Site language is going to be, it's default English United States. That's correct. So time zone, I just leave as is. If you want to change your date format, I liked mine spelled out. This will be the format that's used for your blog post or wherever you decide to include the date on your website. Time format, leave as is. The week starts on Monday. That's fine. So then you would hit save changes if you made any changes. So let's just look, we're going to go through all of these tabs. So let's look at writing. So the default post category is uncategorized. standard. Yep, I'm going to leave all of this as is. Let's go to reading. So right now it says your homepage displays as your latest post. Eventually, I'm going to change that to a static page, but for now, your latest post is fine. And all of these, yep, we'll just leave those. Discussion. Now, I do make one change on all of these. Like, feel free to go through and just read them. I usually leave them as the default settings. One thing I do change is I uncheck that. So it says automatically close comments on post older than 28 days. I want people to comment on any post that they feel the need to chime in on. So I always uncheck that. You can always change the number of days. So this is totally up to you, but I just wanted to make you aware that this checkbox was there. So we'll come down and we'll save changes. Media. Okay, so this just gives us different sizes that it'll default to, which is fine. Permalinks. So this is one place I do make changes. So you can either leave it plain, which is how it'll show up like this. I want it to use the post name. This will help with your SEO as well. If you have the post title, if you're doing SEO correctly, then you'll have your SEO key phrases as part of your title, and that will show up in what they call the URL slug. And so that's what we want. So change this to post name. That's what you want your permalinks to look like. And we're going to save changes. Okay, so that is all I configure for the WordPress site. I'm sure there's other people out there who will have preferences, and that's totally fine. These are just the preferences that I typically use for every website. The next thing we're going to do is to install the Divi theme. I highly recommend that if you do not know how to code or use CSS or HTML, that you get a theme. Now, whether you use Divi or not, totally up to you. I just find that Divi is one of the most flexible themes to use, so I can really make it my own. So we are going to go to the Elegant Themes website, and I will leave all these links in the description below. So I already have an account, so I am just going to log into my account. So now that we're logged into our Elegant Themes account, I'm going to download the Divi theme. No. Okay, so download complete. So we are going to come over to Appearance. And we're going to come up here to Upload. Upload theme. Click on the Divi download file and just hit open. Install now. Okay, and as you can see, it's unpacking the theme and installing the theme. Theme installed successfully, and now we're going to hit activate. There it is. So we're not going to customize it right now, but it is active on the website. It is the active theme that we are using. The one thing I want to show you is, let's go over to Divi, and we're going to go to Theme Options. Okay, under this tab where it says Updates, you're going to want to enter your username and your API key. And you would get that from Elegant Themes, under Account, Username and API key. Okay, and this is where you would copy and paste it into your Divi theme options. So I've copied and pasted my API key in here. So what this is going to do, it's going to automatically pull in updates for this theme so that you don't have to keep downloading the theme and installing it. This will cause it to automatically update when there's new updates. And as with any WordPress website and any WordPress theme, you will need to make sure that you update it on a regular basis. Let me rephrase that. You will need to make sure to update it whenever they have a new update out. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is to install plugins. Now, you do not need a ton of plugins on your website. There are a few that I always add, and we're going to add those now. The reason you don't need a bunch of plugins is because Divi actually gives you so many options in their theme that you don't need to add extra plugins for different uses. So I do have an article on my top 5 plugins, so I'll leave that below. And we are going to install them on the website now, but if you need to go back for reference, they'll all be listed in that article. Okay, so the first one that we are going to install, we'll go to Add New. So you're going to come over to Plugins, Add New, and we are going to look for Really Simple SSL. What this does, even though we have an SSL certificate from our host, sometimes it needs some help being configured, and I don't really want to go into the server side of things and manually configure it. So this is going to help you take care of all those configurations. And if it's buggy for whatever reason, this is going to help just clear everything up and install what you need. So we installed, and now we're going to activate it. Great, so almost ready to migrate SSL. Go ahead and activate. And I only ever used the free one. They do have a pro one, so depending on your site, you can choose which one you would like to use. So, and it just gives you different things to configure. We're not going to go through those right now. So you can, because some of them may not apply, some of them may apply. So we are just going to leave them as is for now. The next plugin I'm going to install is called WP Super Cache. And this is going to help speed up your website a little bit by keeping it cached on the server. So let's go to Add New. And I've used a few different caching plugins, and I find that this one works the best for me from what I've used. I know everyone has their own opinions about what works the best. So, you know, find out what works for you. But these are my recommendations and suggestions. Activate. Okay, so this you can usually just dismiss since it's a new website. Okay, and so you'll see, here's our list. So let's go to settings for the WP Super Cache. So what you need to configure, you need to turn caching on. So delete cache, let's just do update because we've turned caching on. Okay, and I believe that is all I usually update. Enable caching, I just follow their recommended settings. So unless you are a super web guru, you're fine with going with the recommended settings. Okay, so the next one that we're going to install is called Wps Hide Login. And the reason I install this one is because WordPress, everyone knows the default WordPress login. And so this allows me to make it my own login unique. So install, activate. Okay, and let's go down to settings. So right now, your login URL is this, and it's just login. So you can change this right here to make it unique to you. The only thing you need to do is to remember what you changed it to so that you can get back in. Redirection 404, that's totally fine. So I'm not going to make any changes right now, but let's go back to our plugins because we're going to add just a few more. So add new, and we are going to add WP Smush. Or do they just call it Smush now? They may have updated their name. Let's see. Smush. So this is going to help with your images. Images can really load your site down. And so this is going to optimize your images and give you a few options on your web pages to make them a bit faster. So we're not going to configure this right now. I'm just going to install and activate it, but I'll give you an idea of what's in it. So let's go to settings, and it's going to take you through the wizard. So go ahead and just follow the wizard for your website. Okay, next. Okay, so we've got Smush. So we are going to now add an SEO plugin, and we are going to use Yoast. And that's it right there. There's also a video on how to configure this, and I will leave in the link below. I don't have a Yoast configuration video. This is the video I will always watch to make sure I catch everything that I need. So I'll leave that link for you, and you can go ahead and configure Yoast by following the video. So the next one that I usually either set up, let me see. Okay, so they didn't install it. Sometimes they install it automatically. Yep, they did install it. So Google Analytics for WordPress by Monster Insight. I use this to look at my page views and session views, and just to get an idea of how many people are looking at the website, and all the analytics in here. And we'll see it if you're using Bluehost. This is one that you can install when you set up a new domain. So, and it'll be right here. Now I haven't set it up. Just hit set up website analytics, and it's going to take you through the wizard, and it's really easy to do. So you can follow that on your own. So the next plugin I'm going to add in is a cookies plugin. So if you have a blog, or you're going to have tracking cookies anywhere on your website, then you need to add this plugin. And it is a cookie consent. So it is called, so GDPR, cookies consent. Okay, and that's it right there. So we'll install now. Okay, and go in and go ahead and configure this. And most of these plugins are very self-explanatory in what needs to be checked and what needs to be on. So I would just go in and do that so that you can create it that's specific to your website. So you go into the settings and enable cookie bar on. Which one do you need? So yeah, just go through and just customize and update to make it fit your website. So there's two more plugins that I would recommend. You don't necessarily need, but they are kind of convenient. So let's go to add new. Okay, and it's called InstantImages. And what it does is it links a media library from Unsplash, which is free images, to your website. So when this is installed, you can pull images from InstantImages right on your website. So it's kind of nice if you're if you just want to have access to a library of images that you don't create right from your WordPress site. So that's one. The next plugin I like to install is the Monarch Social Share plugin, and that is provided by Divi. So we need to go back to the Divi website, and let's go to all products, and it's right there. And you would install it the same way you installed the theme. So you would download it, and I think it kicked me out of my account. Let's see. Let's look at my downloads. Here we go. Download Monarch. So there it is. We come over, upload plugin. It's right there in my downloads folder. Install now. So that's how you would upload a plugin that you wouldn't find directly from your WordPress website. And let's go ahead and activate that plugin. So those are all the plugins that I usually add to my website. You may find that you need different ones, or this is all you need. Really, it's up to you what you want on your website. I'm so glad you joined me today. Stay tuned for more videos as we build this website together. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If there's a question that you have, I would love to help you out. Also, be sure to check out Life Unboxed Teespring store for all of your Mom Boss merch. For more great momtrepreneur content, visit lifeunboxed.blog.